Welcome back to Market Sense. Now, political parties have debated their different stances, and that's particularly on transformation at the 2019 Black Business Summit in Midrand. Now, reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa has been listening in. Let's get straight to her now and get the latest from this summit. Mbalenhle, thank you so much for your time. The latest really on day 2 then of the Black Business Summit.
Yes, it is day 2, Arabile, and you know, who would have known that transformation means so many different things to different political parties. Now we know that we'll be heading off to the polls later on this year in May, but definitely this was an opportunity for political parties to basically make pronouncements about transformation and just try to win over the electorate one more time, maybe not one last time, but just one more time. Now we know that the theme here has been economic transformation within the context of the 4th Industrial Revolution, and one thing the political parties did do was rise up to the occasion to speak about transformation in the context of the 4th Industrial Revolution. We had the ANC speaking about how transformation is an opportunity for them to achieve, for the political party that is, to achieve inclusive growth. Now we know that the political party has been speaking about inclusive growth, and it also forms part of its manifestos, as well as some of the things that they want to achieve and the promises that they've made to the South African electorate. And they're also saying that they also have other plans with regards to industrialization. We know the manufacturing sector is not quite what it used to be, and they've said that they would like to see more local Black South Africans being participants within the industrialization sector. They would like to see Black South Africans, my apologies, Black industrialists, that is, being part of procurement processes, not only in the rest of South Africa, but also at state-owned enterprises. Now, we saw Paul Mashatile stressing the importance of addressing the issue of corporate governance at SOEs, saying that this is an opportunity for Black industrialists to participate in the economy. We also saw the EFF talking about how Black South Africans are spectators in the South African economy, saying that they haven't really fully participated within this South African economy. We also heard similar pronouncements yesterday, where they were talking about how there's still very little participation from Black small, medium enterprises, as well as Black South Africans within this economy. We also saw BBC also talking about how we see only between 2 to 10% of Black South Africans taking up positions of influence and leadership positions in big companies. But what the EFF is proposing is completely different. They don't want to see Black South Africans taking up positions of CEO, or neither of influential positions or leadership positions in other companies or in white-owned companies, as they would say. They are calling for a structured transformation where industries are owned by Black South Africans and not necessarily owned by someone else, and you know, Black South Africans being merely the face of South Africa, of the company. Another thing that the EFF also spoke about, just moving away from the topic of transformation, they spoke about what we've seen happening at Eskom. They spoke about Medupi and Kusile, saying that it doesn't make sense why Kusile is believed to have been badly built. And they're saying that this is an opportunity for government to bring in independent power producers, and that there's nothing wrong with Medupi and Kusile. And they are in fact calling for Kusile and Medupi to actually be put onto the grid and connected to the grid, and see what happens from there on. Going back to the issue of transformation, we saw the DA saying that they have been calling for 1 job for every household, and they're saying that 4 out of 10 South Africans struggle to find employment in South Africa, and that's hence the reason why they are calling for more people in jobs, one job for every household. They've also called for the triple BEE to be inclusive for all South Africans, and they're saying that they would like to see it work for all South Africans. They've also spoken about the 4th Industrial Revolution and the education system. They're saying that it's a poor reflection. Basically, the results coming from our education system is very poor, in the sense that they are not preparing young South Africans for the fourth industrial revolution, but rather the industrial revolution that is supposed to be behind us, and we're supposed to be looking at it from our rearview mirror. And that's what they were saying. But what they have proposed in terms of transformation, they have said that they would like to see a jobs and justice fund. Now, the jobs and justice fund is supposed to be a fund that is also partly owned by the private sector and government, that is supposed to fund small, medium enterprises. So that is their way of actually funding small, medium enterprises. One of the other things that centered around their conversations was the issue of access to funding. We saw the ANC also committing to ensuring that small, medium enterprises also have access to funding. The UDM, another thing they said about, they're also really championing the idea and the concept of reindustrializing the economy. They said that they would like to, they were calling rather for the import substitute industrialization program, where basically they would like to remedy the trade deficit in the country, where we're importing more than we are exporting. And they're saying that for everything that we import, we should actually start having a substitute industrialization program. We're obviously going to be building all the things that are being imported right now in the country. And then also, Minister of Communications and Telecommunications and Postal Services also spoke about the fourth industrial revolution, and she said that it's already here, and that it is evident in Siri, and it's evident in other ways. But another example that she also used is that of an app that was created in the Eastern Cape, where she says that most of the people in the Eastern Cape have a problem with their livestock going missing, and as a result, someone created an app where they could monitor where their livestock is and the health of their livestock. And that is something that goes a long way with regards to addressing the challenges that are faced by the agricultural sector in the Eastern Cape. But basically, the conference does continue. We are expecting to see our President Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking later on at the gala dinner. That we also expect Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, to also to speak in the second session when everyone else comes back from lunch. But for now, from me on this side of Gallagher Estate, Arabile, it's back to you in studio.
Cohesive. Thank you so much for that report, Mbalenhle Mthethwa there. Of course, out at Midrand at the Black Business Council Summit, giving you the exact picture of the conversation, of course, going on, transformation within the fourth industrial revolution, and just how things are set to change on that front.